Hey guys, how you doing? Hopefully you're doing okay. I'm going to start off by giving you an overview of this case here. Then I'll make sure I'll scroll through the article to make sure I give you all of the important information. There is a link in the description. This is in regards to the death of the little girl that you see in front of you. Her name was Rylee Rose Black. She died at the age of 3 years of age back in November 2020. And this incident happened in Australia, Queensland, Townsville, in a small town in Burdell, Townsville's north. So in Queensland, and it happened in November 2020. During this period, November 2020, there was a heat wave in the area. If you didn't know, forgive my facetiousness, but it can get quite hot in Australia. They were experiencing a Queensland heat wave. Let me tell you, it can get hot in a Queensland heat wave. The temperatures were averaging 32.8 degrees Celsius, or they went up to 32.8 degrees Celsius. That's pretty hot. And young Rylee died after having been left in a car for several hours on a day in November 2020, which was experiencing a heat wave. She died of heat exposure. So we can have a look at the scumbag mother. Here she is, Laura Peveril. She's being charged for having left her daughter in a hot car. But this article hasn't spelt out the actual charges, the details of those charges. I don't quite know why. The article also hasn't told us whether or not the boyfriend, Aaron Hill, has been charged. I assume that he hasn't. Oh no, it says his case is due for mention on June the 13th. So I don't really know what that means, but I think it means at this point in time, he's not being charged. Maybe he will be. But on this day in question, November 2020, the mother and the boyfriend decided to leave 3-year-old Rylee Rose Black inside the mother's car, whilst the two of them, the mother and the boyfriend, go inside where there might have been air conditioning to watch Netflix throughout the day. The police found the girl dead in the car, and she had spent hours in the car, and she had died of heat exposure. That's pretty much most of the details in regards to the incident. Thankfully, the scumbag mother's other children are now in the custody of the father of those children. Now, outside of that, the article tells us a little bit about a Google controversy, so I'll just go over that quickly. So essentially, the prosecution is arguing that the scumbag mother had Googled whether she would go to jail for leaving a child in a car. And the scumbag mother admits to having made that Google search. She did, in fact, do a Google search whether she would go to jail for leaving a child in a car. However, she claims that she made that Google search after the fact, after it was discovered that her 3-year-old child, Rylee Rose Black, had died after having been left in the car, had died of heat exposure. And she did that Google search out of fear, she claims. Fear of the consequences that she would face of having put her own 3-year-old child, in such a situation, such that it took her life. The prosecution are arguing that the scumbag mother actually did that Google search prior to the incident, which, and I'm not a lawyer, but that would suggest to me, if it is the case that the scumbag mother did that Google search, will I get into trouble if I leave my child in a car? If she did that prior to the fact, then I would imagine, I would guess, I would speculate that that could lead to a murder charge. You know, that would be an indication of premeditation, would it not? But her actual charge is manslaughter, so it does tell us that. So Laura has been charged with manslaughter. I'm not sure what the boyfriend has been charged with, if anything. So that's really all of the information there. So it is incredibly sad, and you know, regardless of the Google search, this is a scumbag mother. Look, if you live in Australia, Queensland's one of the hotter states in Australia. I would think Perth is or even the Northern Territory is the hottest, but Queensland gets hot. Townsville gets hot, and you know, it's just sheer recklessness to do this. Australians know not to do this. Australians, you know, we all know everywhere you are, you know, but certainly Australians know what happens in regards to the heat within a car on a hot day. You know, everything melts in the car. Your bottles of water melts on a hot day. You know, everything melts. We're all aware of this. So to me, this is a woman who knowingly left her daughter in an extremely dangerous position for several hours, completely needlessly and selfishly, and her actions has caused the death of her 3-year-old innocent child, Rylee Rose Black. Gone, had her life taken away from her because her mother wanted to watch Netflix with her new boyfriend. I went on a rant earlier. I made another video just an hour ago, and it's worth watching. It's a tragic video that I just made. This one here, Virginia man Dwayne Warren murdered girlfriend and their 2 infant children. And towards the end of that, I went on a short rant, which I'm about to embark on again. Mothers. Oh, hang on. No, hang on. That's wrong. You know what? I'm not going to go on that rant. But I mean, look, in this case, this mother let herself down, let her child down immensely. And I hope that justice takes course. And I hope she faces a very, very long term, a very long jail sentence. The boyfriend, we don't know too many details about the boyfriend's involvement. I have to presume he knew that the girl was in the car. I would have to presume, but maybe that's not the case. Maybe that isn't the case. I'm surprised the article isn't telling us that he's been charged with anything. If it can be shown that he did have knowledge that the 3-year-old girl was in the car, left alone for multiple hours, then I would presume that he would deserve punishment too, severe punishment. I'm going to wrap things up here, guys. If you do value this content, if it's been worthwhile to make you aware of this, please do like, comment, subscribe, share the video as you see fit, and I'm going to thank you for your time.